What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode, I hope, 19 of the Consider the Ravens podcast. I've got Hannah and Savannah here with me today. My first double guest episode. So this is special. So we're going to start out with start. Where y'all from? What brought y'all to Daystar? Things like that.
Well, we're from good old Coleman, Alabama.
Love it.
And what brought us to Daystar was we were in the middle of building our house. And so we were working literally every day, day and out, day and night.
Nice.
And our mom said that she felt like we should go to Wednesday nights at Daystar because they used to come here when it was Glory Hill and been around.
It's been a while.
So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But so she felt like we should go to Daystar, and maybe like 3 weeks later, we ended up going one Wednesday night, and Stephanie hooked me up with being a leader like the next time we came.
Yeah.
And so I mean, now we're here.
Nice. So how long you been coming here?
Let's see. It's been since almost a year. It's almost a year.
I think it was 3 weeks before Braxton came.
It was in August, so almost a year.
Wow.
Which sounds crazy because it hasn't felt that long.
Yeah.
But God wanted us here, so it's been right ever since. So
That's awesome.
It just happened. Yeah.
Most of the guests that I've had on here, they're like, yeah, I've been here for about 15 years. And been going here when I was a little child. Except for Andrew, of course. Andrew was like, I got here 2 months ago, and I'm leaving tomorrow. So I was like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So obviously y'all grew up in a Christian household. Do y'all have like a testimony story of when y'all got saved, or was that something that happened early on?
Sorry. You want to take this one?
Okay, so we got saved different times.
Okay.
Me and my brother got saved in my dad's blue Ford truck. When we were going home from church, when we went to church in Tennessee, I think it was.
I was a baby.
We drove an hour to church every Sunday morning. Could stand it as a little, I think I was 6. And she was like, do you know what being saved is? And, she kind of explained it a little bit to us. And I was like, yeah, I want to be saved. Yeah, let's do it. And so, she said the prayer, and, we repeated after her, and I was like, that's it?
That's it?
She's like, yeah, that's it. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't feel any way. Okay. Sounds good.
Let me answer this one. Okay, so I got saved when I was about 7, but I don't think I didn't understand it, at least. I mean, I've been told, like, do you want to get saved? And I was such a shy kid that I was like, no, I don't think I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
And then one Sunday, I finally said the prayer. But it was until 2 years later, and then I was actually, like, said it, like, on my face. And it was real that time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's when it was for me. So
That's nice. Again, typically, I've only interviewed people from the church. And I don't know if I'm going to get to do it with anybody who doesn't go to the church here, because all of my friends go here. And all of them grew up in Christian households, and just like y'all, they were saved pretty early on in life. I didn't get saved till I was 15 years old. I didn't necessarily grow up in a Christian household. My dad, he's a Christian. He read the Bible to me every once in a while, but we didn't go to church, and we didn't really live the lifestyle, right?
yeah.
So I started going to a Southern Baptist church,
No.
and and I got saved, and my first Bible that I used for years was a KJV, and I preached from it whenever they let me. Yeah, I was fire and brimstone. That's
Wow.
completely different to where I am now, and it's crazy. So recently, y'all experienced motion for the first time. My second time, and I think it was even better this year than it was 2 years ago. Even though 2 years ago we got to sit on the floor and it was nice, but like moving around was a little rough. But honestly, not bad seats. Even the nosebleeds was pretty cool. Except for when I got kicked off the stairs. That was not cool motion.
Oh, yes.
Not cool.
Yes. That went crazy.
Yeah. But David Crowder was my favorite out of all of them. What about y'all? What was y'all's like thoughts and experiences there? being y'all's first time.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, just everybody worshiping. I've always heard that, but seeing everybody worship together was the biggest thing for me. That was just crazy to see. But as I was there, okay, this was my experience. In the worship, I always worship, and it was nice and all. And I was told by God that there'd be a sort of change after for me in the church. And it wasn't until midweek, the next midweek, that I came here, and I felt the mental change in myself and just the Holy Spirit at ease in me. It was just different. So it was a set of hope too that happened for Motion.
It's definitely life altering. Like when the first time that they just put on the big bright white lights in the middle of a song, and you look around and you see almost every seat filled up, and everyone's standing up just like dancing and having a good time. There's nothing else like it.
There was so much hope in the room. It was
Yeah,
it was crazy.
That's something that I don't really feel as much. I don't mean it. It sounds bad, but I don't mean it like that. It's just the sheer amount of people there that were putting their faith in God. That was the amount of hope that was coming through. Like, obviously, we feel it every once in a while here.
Yeah.
But 2,000 people compared to 16,000 people, that's a bit of a different kind of worship there.
Yeah.
Plus, having all the big names in worship kind of come in and lead everybody in worship, which I know it's not about the people and it's not about the big names. Yeah. But still, you're singing their songs in church, and you're probably listening to it when you're driving. It's not
cool.
The same. Yeah, it's not the same when they're there.
No, it's not.
Because you're like, I know this song, and then they sing it differently, and you're like, that's not how I'm used to it. But it's still so much better. Like, I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, with that many people gathered in a room, it just reminds me of the one will put 1,000, the two will put 10,000. Imagine how many people were there. Just you know what I mean? That was a terrible explanation, but maybe you get it.
I got you.
Power of numbers?
Yeah, power of numbers, pretty much, you know?
Yeah.
Very nice. Hey, we love the explanations here. I was going to ask another question. I will remember it, I promise. Actually, no promises here. I try not to make promises I can't keep. I typically don't remember things like this. I should have wrote a list down. I'm professional, guys. I do this for not a living.
I mean, haven't you seen our mic?
Yes. I got a spatula mic today.
It's very nice. It's one of a kind.
It is. It is, in fact, one of a kind. Don't check me on that. Don't hold me to that. It's one of a kind here, okay? So going back to y'all's rooms every night, which was only 2 nights, what was the dynamic like after the first night versus the second night going home?
Okay, well, I wish I had more time with the students because I was a leader at Motion. And so we had the leaders meeting downstairs every night at 11:15. And the last night we got there at 11, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. I was also late for that meeting. But so I wish I had more time that I spent with the girls. But overall, Savannah made some really good connections, and they got really close.
Nice.
And I got close to them too, and I got to know them. But it's not as much as I wanted, not as much as I wish that I did get to know them. Mm-hmm. I wish I got to know them better. But I mean, I don't know. It's just. I don't know. But it's like the first night you were getting to know everybody and everybody was going to sleep and all. And then I'd say, obviously, definitely the second night was better.
Yeah. But it's not as awkward.
Yeah. But I'm going to pass that one to you because, you were there more.
Yeah, you went as a student. That's different.
I did. I was going to go as a leader, but it didn't happen. But I'm glad it didn't because the relationship with the girls I had was definitely different. But the first night compared to the second night was so big difference because the second night they act like we were best friends for years, which was okay for me because I love that. That's how I treat everybody. I mean, we all can be friends, So
yeah.
The second night they all were just opening up. We had karaoke.
Oh yeah, lots of
Y'all,
karaoke.
that's
Let It Go was
incredible.
sung on the bed.
Oh my god.
Hannah sticks her head out of the bathroom and it's like, it's quiet time. We tried to tell her, we tried to tell her. I mean, it was great. It was great.
I get in trouble.
Gosh, it was hilarious.
You gotta get a knock on the door from Sophia.
Yeah.
Sophia don't scare me, but like, well, none of them do. But like,
Yeah.
the worst would be AG.
Yes. Oh my god.
And being like, having that straight face going, you know what time it is?
AG is just super intimidating. Anytime she's not smiling, I'm afraid. You know.
Yeah.
So whenever there's kids just not doing what they're supposed to do, I find her first.
Oh yeah.
She will set them straight. She literally does not care. We had some students trying to walk out this past Wednesday. After signing in, it was really weird. They tried to duck signing in. I caught them, sent them to sign in. They signed in and then turned around and walk out the front door. And AG was like, "Where are they going?" I was like, "I don't know." And she said, she went around the table. She sprinted after them. She said, "I don't care. I'm going to go talk to them." I was like, "All right." Like, yeah. So, yeah, she's definitely the one to handle rebellious students.
Yeah.
Speaking of rebellious students, my guys are...
You got the rowdy bunch.
My guys were the most difficult to get to sleep and wake up.
That was the worst group put together.
Yeah, Bible study at, what was it, 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. My homeroom's going to be down there and a few other people.
Yep.
I got down there, maybe, I don't remember what time I went down, but I got the end of it. And it was just Nick and Seth.
Yeah.
I was like, "Where's your room?" He's like, "Oh, they weren't moving. No, they're dead."
Dead to the world, yeah. Yeah, I put hands on all of them. I called each and every one of them one time, and I called the room. You know, the loud 80s, phone noise. They didn't answer. Not a single one of them.
Still asleep when you get up there.
Every one of them's alarms went off. They snoozed every one of them. And
My roomies were great. Shout out to you guys if you ever watch this.
The thing is, it was their idea. They're the ones. Really? They asked me if we could have a Bible study, and I said, "Absolutely, I love it. We're gonna go down there at 6 a.m." They said, "Heck yeah, that's even better than yesterday." Because the day before, they all got up at 5 a.m. and went to the gym with me. So
who is on? I mean, I call it a vacation because you're out of town. But who wakes up at 5 o'clock when you got to be to church at 8 and goes to the gym?
That was the all dayer.
Loco.
It was so.
No, thank you.
We drive straight to the BJCC arena, and we do the first session, and when we get back to the hotel, it's like 11 o'clock. We have our meeting 11:30. Probably don't get to bed till 1 a.m. And then I immediately wake everybody else up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym. That's the first thing I did. We were up from 5 a.m. until 1 a.m. the other day, or the next day, because that was the all-day thing. We were at the BJCC from 9 o'clock to like 10-ish.
Yeah.
So
11 on the last day. It was too good to leave.
It was too good to leave. So tell me why they were able to get up at 5 but not 6 the other day. Now I know that they were up longer, whatever. I did the exact same thing they did, okay? I got up, Seth got up. Shout out Seth, he's another leader. Probably going to have him on here hopefully soon. But Seth actually got down there before I did. I was still trying to wake my guys up. I said, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. My guys are just not moving." I said, "I'll go ahead and head down there." So I went down there, and we read through Psalms 1. And he had the KJV, which surprised me, kind of. I don't know why that surprised me, because he is kind of old school, but I just didn't expect it. So he reads it. It's actually similar to the NLT. That I was speechless for about 10 seconds after he got done reading it, because I could almost follow along exactly in mine, and I was like, that's usually not right. Mm-hmm. So we go over that, and like she said, I think we're about halfway through, maybe a little bit more than halfway through the talking portion or whatever, and when she joined us, and all of my guys are still dead to the world. I didn't get them up until 7:45. We're supposed to be leaving at 8 o'clock, okay? And my gosh.
And if you don't eat breakfast before, then you won't eat till like 1
Yeah.
or 12 later that evening.
Yes.
So It was breakfast at the hotel, and
Yeah.
then we go. So they had that amount of time to get up, get ready, and eat.
Yeah, Andrew Swan, I'm naming your name right now. You walked out of that bed at 7:50 and decided to get in the shower. You are the reason I have gray hairs. I swear. You went as a leader, too. He went as a leader, but he was in my room because it was too late to get him his own. Bro. It was literally your idea. You asked me first, and the others joined along with you. Whatever. You weren't there. You said, and you weren't there. Okay. So yes, we finished by 7:30ish. It wasn't that long. Psalms 1 is like 6 verses. Really good chapter though. Starts out 120 chapters, 19 chapters, something like that. A lot of chapters, a lot of words. Okay, Psalms 1 is incredible. But then we went to. I ate breakfast, tried to drink an energy drink, couldn't do it. I got through half of it and was like, I am gonna be sick. So I gave it to somebody else. They drank the rest of the half. The rest of the half, yes. And then I probably need one right now.
I got mine.
And then Braxton comes out, Pastor Braxton, with a rainstorm, which is just a little one. I'm like, okay, I could go for one of those. I was like, man, I wish I went to the store to get one. And he was like, I got an extra if you want one. I said, yeah, man. It's an extra rainstorm little thing. I could have drank that easily. He pulls out a 16-ounce, 300 milligram caffeine Rain. And I'm like, that's not what I was expecting. And now I've got to take 300 milligrams caffeine to the dome right before I go to the biggest concert of my life.
And you can't bring the drinks inside?
Nope.
Unless you hide it good.
Those eyebrows are crazy, all right? I had to slam it in 10 minutes, okay, while I was driving through Birmingham traffic. All right, the people in my van, sorry, okay?
I wasn't there.
Savannah was there for part of it. If you sat in the bench seat right behind me, you were good. Anywhere behind that's not so good.
Well, if you've ever been in a church van or a van period, you'd know the back seat is the worst. You get all the feels. You get all the bumps, all the turns.
Yep.
He drove like a beast, though. And I mean that in a good way. Because, like, maybe both ways. Because, I don't know, like, that's a church van, and he drove like he was in a sports car. So, take it how you want.
Look, I drive a Mustang, and yes, it is beat up. But I was not in the vehicle any of the times that it got hit, okay? It was literally parked most of the time, and people were just hitting my car. I don't know.
I think that's a sports car thing. People see them, they just hit them with buggies on purpose.
It's my own family
That's a
that
thing.
was doing
My bad.
I know one more buggies.
I have hit every family member's car.
Oh, I was like, what?
No.
Except for hers. I have smashed my brother's car. I completely destroyed my mom's car.
That should not be dropped.
But that's okay.
With your
My
Hummer?
record is clean.
With your Hummer?
Yes. Not a scratch. No, get this though. I hate to get on car topics, but the only thing that made a mark on my Hummer was a trash can that was in the road.
A what?
A trash can. You know those stinking trash cans? It was a little in the road and I had a car pass me and it knocked out my light. I hit everything else and nothing made a mark.
Wow. The trash can shattered my side view mirror. I was in the car for that one. I swerved off the road and it was the only trash can in the way. The only one on the whole road. It was right there. There was a truck coming at me, so like I wasn't about to win that.
Yeah,
You know? What about to risk it? So I went, whoop, wham! It's like, what the heck? And now I can't see out of my right rearview mirror. It's been like that for 2 years. Haven't fixed it. It'd be alright.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, it's alright.
Yeah. There's a giant dent in the left of it, of the whole car, not just the mirror, and it's gonna cost me $4,000 to fix. So it's been like that for 3 years, and I'm alright with it. Okay, as long as
Right?
it drives, I'm okay. But that's crazy. You drive a Hummer and you're hitting everybody's car.
I told her she can't get
My mom
mine
got me a
fast.
Hummer because she's like, if you ever got in a wreck, you would be okay because it's a tank. Okay, it's literally a tank, and I've hit everybody.
So how bad is the gas though?
That's the talk.
Well,
I've never been in a Humvee.
that's my
so I don't
first
know.
car.
Yeah.
So, okay, about a 20-minute drive, I can get $10 in gas. Will get me here and back to my house. Yeah.
That's not that good. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
$3 gas right now, so.
Yeah, I put $40 in my car, and I think I can go a week or two with it.
Don't talk to me about it.
Well, I only do.
I like my Hummer, but that is the only thing. But it's okay.
My first vehicle was a 1989 F-150, and it was incredible. There was nothing. Well, there were a few things wrong with it. Okay, it's an '89 Ford. Obviously, it had some issues, but we fixed it. It was cheap, easy to fix. But then in 2016, the gas got up to $3 for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
So I was 18 at the time, and I decided to sell it. And now I am very sad about it because I missed the truck. And now gas has hit $4 a gallon. So I don't know how bad it would have been with $4 a gallon, but I think I would have rather have dealt with the $4 a gallon in the '89 than to have this Mustang. I'm starting to hate it. I'm not gonna lie. I bought it when I was 22, I think, and I thought it was really cool.
Oh, so you've had it for a while.
Yeah, since 2021. So maybe I was 23 because I'm 26 now, but loved it. It was one of my dream cars. I just loved the style. It looked awesome, and I made decent money at the time. Now I realize it's terribly inconvenient. I can carry one person in it because if you sit in the back seat, sorry, you're like this. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm 5'9". 98% of my friends are taller than I am, and when I sit back there, my head's like this. Okay, so I'm always riding with them if we're carpooling, and it's a sad day. When I had my trucks, as I've had two of them, I always carried people because you got a lot of room in trucks. And I miss it now. Now nobody wants to ride with me. So, and Sophia, my gosh, was talking smack about my driving all weekend.
Oh, I heard some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear it. Somebody else said, "Hey, Sophia said something about
Hey,
your
can I
driving."
mention how good she was sleeping?
She did sleep
seen
well on the van. So, bad driving? I don't think so.
She was out, so couldn't be that bad. We have proof pictures. I didn't take them.
They do have proof
did not take 'em.
pictures.
Everyone else did.
Name dropping. Sophie has them from production. Hilarious. Okay.
Yeah.
I looked in my rearview mirror and I seen them taking pictures for her, and
Everyone. It was like Popsarotsi.
It went Popsarotsi.
Yes.
Popsarotsi.
It went through my mind to like yell or something. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna let this happen. This is hilarious. So there are proof. Our proof is proof of Sophia sleeping while I'm driving. So, like she said, couldn't be that bad. I mean, come on, you can't sleep in a bad, and can't sleep when someone's driving terribly. My goodness, I'm in shambles. Oh man. So, worship, as far as worship goes at Motion, David Crowder. Oh my gosh, was my favorite.
Was he? I can't remember any of their names. I know them all, but
Take this one. Taya. Yes.
Taya.
Yeah.
I'm hot take here. Her first two songs ruined the vibe that was set up from the other one.
That was bad. That was bad on.
I would
Ocean.
agree with that.
Yes.
But I just was excited to see her because Oceans, you know.
Oh my gosh.
I
when she
hate to
hit
be
Ocean.
that since everybody loves that song, but that's where I found her, and
Just
then
a good song.
I just like learned her journey through that and all, and it's really just it stuck with me. Yeah. So.
What I really like about her is have you heard the story of her shaving her head
I have
and all
not.
that? She said that she put a lot of pride and she loved her hair so much that she had beautiful long curly hair, and so she put a lot of effort into it and she always took care of it and all, and God told her that she values it too much, and so she shaved her head for him as a symbol that he meant more to her than anything that she had. And I really like that story. And then
That's-
she got a lot of hate, everybody saying that she went gay and all this stuff when she shaved it for God.
Yeah.
And so that's what really made me fall in love with her.
Yeah.
Is that.
That's weird. People see a woman with short hair and they're like, yep.
Or
gay.
with cargos or tennis shoes or, it's
Kind of dumb.
there's no tomboys in the world. It's all
Right.
gays.
Yeah, they're either feminine or gay, and there's no in
Yeah.
between. And that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But when she hit Oceans, oh my gosh. That same day, on the way to the church to meet everybody, I was listening to Oceans, bawling, trying not to have a wreck because I just tears, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And so for her to be there that same night and performing it live,
It's crazy.
I was in shambles. But yeah, when she first started, I was like, I've never heard these songs before, and the vibe was not hitting. I didn't like it at all. I think the only one that she performed that I did like was Oceans.
Yeah.
Can't remember the other ones.
I will say my favorite. What she was trying to do though was show everybody that you can have fun and have hype songs in God.
Yeah.
You can dance and not party, but you could have a good time. There's good parties.
He's
Okay,
God of joy,
but
so he's going to
yeah, you can dance and have a good time with your friends and joke around in God and in the Spirit. But that's what she was getting across. But I will say my favorite in worship was that other girl, the Brooke.
Oh, Brooke is good.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I was stunned. And then she sung 4 more songs after it was over. So that's.
Yeah, she was there 2 years ago. I think she might go every year now. She's incredible. She did a song that everybody was hoping she'd do again. I think it was
That Shackle song, that one.
Brandon Lake just did it on his newest album, the live album. Oh no, Honey on the Rock.
Ah,
Yes, that one is such a good song. Kel heard it for the first time at Motion 22, and he loved it so much, he bought a shirt. Yeah, so now he's got a shirt that says Honey on the Rock, and I think that might still be his favorite song. It's hard for me to get into female-led songs just because I like to sing along, and I can't hit those notes.
I do get that.
So, but when she sings, it's like I don't care. She's really good. So I would agree with that. Speakers. I have some hot takes about some of the speakers. So for the first guy, Rich Wilkerson Jr., incredible. Okay, he's a good preacher. He's a good pastor. A great guy, and he tells some hilarious stories. But if I'm being honest, the first night, most of what he said was the equivalent to clip farming, where he would just say some buzzwords and say something that sounded exciting, and then he would ask for like applause and for people to make noise. He wouldn't wait for a genuine reaction. So it's like he was just saying things just to get us amped up, but it had nothing to do with what he was actually trying to get across. Now, some of the things that he said, incredible. Like when he was talking about when, I think it was him, the woman with the blood disease, and it was Jairus, his daughter, that was 12 years old. Was it him that was talking about this?
I was debating because there was 2 people that ended up talking about that because somebody took it from him. But I'm pretty sure it was him.
Okay. It may be in him and Louis Giglio, yeah?
Yeah.
But one of them pointed this out, the fact that Jairus' daughter was 12 years old, and the woman with the blood disease had been bleeding for 12 years. And Jesus was on the way to heal Jairus' daughter, or to bring her back to life, when the woman with the bleeding disease was able to touch, Jesus' robe and get healed. So what he said was, the woman had no idea that when she started suffering, that her blessing and salvation was already being born at the same time. So that kind of helped me think that God's not waiting for us necessarily to come to him when we're in sorrow. He's already working it out when we get into it. And I guess technically he's waiting for us to go to him when before he heals, but he's already working on it before you even think about going to him. So he's not just, kicking back, in a little lazy boy chair and going like, you can suffer all you want until you come talk to me, then I'll start working. He's already working. When you go to him, the work's already finished. That's how that works.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think about that until they,
Same.
put those two together.
Yeah.
And I was like, mind blown.
Yeah.
And there was a British woman there. Can't remember her name to save my life. Not Don Cherie. That's Wilkerson's wife. The other woman. She said 18 times to lead and you're leaving. And I was like,
is it Charlotte?
probably.
Charlotte something?
I think so.
Or was it the one they called DC? I don't. That was his wife.
Yeah, I think it was
so
Charlotte.
Chamble or something.
She was doing more buzzwords than Rich Wilkerson. And when she would say something like, she literally said, and you need to get off your Xbox, and she leaned forward, and everybody's like, no way she said that. And then she said,
barely anybody
scrolling
applauds.
on Reels.
She did a lot. She did.
She was like scrolling on Reels. They were like, I was like,
it got so weird. I will agree. Yeah.
Anytime a speaker,
What's going on?
yeah, anytime a speaker would start to say something like with emphasis and then pause, it was like on cue. People would gasp and clap.
They
and I'm
wanted
like,
to be loud, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like, she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
What do you? But I mean, like I said, I got one thing out of that: it's to lead and you're leaving, and I learned that the hard way already. It went through some stupid trauma, not drama. Well, it was drama, but it caused a lot of trauma that took several years to get over. But it was because I didn't leave when I had the opportunity because I was afraid of confrontation. But now I know because of that, once I see something that is like a red flag, so to speak, get out of there. Don't wait because it'll get worse.
And when you leave something, cut the ties completely. Mm-hmm. Because, for instance, somebody was leaving their toxic boyfriend and they're like, should I say to still be friends? No. No. Cut the tie. Mm-hmm. It's still there if you don't get rid of it.
Yep.
And, I believe strongly that in a little thing like that could even possibly get them saved in some way. Mm-hmm. God works in mysterious ways.
Always has. I mean, like, what's the point in talking about that? What's the point in changing someone's position in your life from toxic boyfriend or toxic girlfriend to toxic friend?
Exactly.
Because they're just going to do the same thing.
It's still toxic and it's still in your life.
Yeah. And for them to still be there, if you get into another relationship that's actually good, they're going to ruin that.
Exactly.
It's
so burn the bridge.
Burn the bridge, please. Burn the bridge.
Quote of the day.
My goodness. Yeah, I had a toxic ex reach out to me last week, and it was the one that really messed me up. And she was like telling me how proud she was of me. And I was like, I don't want to read this, but I guess I will just in case like it's something actually genuine, which I had my doubts because I've never seen her be genuine in my life. So I read it, and she was like being real genuine, and she apologized for everything. And I was like, okay, I didn't expect you to actually admit to what you did, but I appreciate that. So that shows me that God has actually been working in her life as well. And I cut ties immediately. I hadn't talked to her in 3-4 years, something like that. Didn't plan on it ever. She's not even from around here. So I just was pretty happy, right? I didn't even think about her ever. I seen her name pop up on my Instagram, like requests, and I was like, what the freak? What is this? And she eventually was like, yeah, if you ever need someone to talk to, here's my number. I deleted that message and am not going to...
Burn the bridge.
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad you're proud of me. I'm glad God's working in your life.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Life.
Yes, not day, life. Have a nice life.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. She was like, here's my number. I'm not trying to come on to you or anything like that. I was like...
You said it.
Get out of my face. I didn't respond at all. I said, yep, okay, bye, delete, didn't follow.
Good, yeah.
No. So burn the bridge. You'll be better for it, I promise. It might suck at the beginning because that's someone in your life that's not in your life anymore, and it's never easy to go through. Get over it. Okay.
The process will be hard, okay?
Yeah.
We're not saying it's going to be easy. Burning a bridge will always be hard, and there will be tears that will be shed, but it will benefit you in the long run, and it'll benefit them too.
Yes. But don't think that you wasted your time with them. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here at Daystar. Before her, I hated Daystar because I thought that they were a bunch of money hungry. I was a Southern Baptist. I thought,
Yeah, oh.
I thought what all the other Baptists think about Daystar.
Of course.
They all think that Daystar is just money hungry, and
There's a lot of rumors about this place.
Yes, yeah. Like I've heard that we're a cult. I've heard that everyone that works here makes six figures. Freaking, I wish I worked here, bro. I work here. Don't make six, not even close. Okay, I promise. I might make 20 grand a year. Okay, so don't believe that. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So don't think your time's wasted. Like I said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't come here. She brought me here one day, and they had Starbucks in the lobby, and I was like, hate that. That's not okay. Came back again a few months later. They got rid of Starbucks because they started being weird, and I was like, okay, that's a little better. But then I was like, well, who's getting the money for all this coffee and all the shirts that they're selling, and they're pushing to give online and stuff like that. Why do you want money so bad? And then I grew out of my Baptist shell and was like, oh, the coffee money goes 100% to missions. The merch goes 100% to whatever ministry is selling the merch for their funds. And they're pushing to do online because some people don't carry cash, obviously. And biblically, we're called to give generously. We're not necessarily having to tithe 10%, but it's just being generous with our money. So whether that means giving to the church or buying someone's food or whatever it is, that's why they do that, to give everybody the opportunity to be generous with what they have. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. And well, the crap that she put me through, I'm thankful that I went through that. Mm-hmm. My gosh.
I strongly believe that people that are in your life, good or bad, is what builds your character. And it might, really suck in the meantime, and you might be getting over it or whatever. But that built for who you are. And God did know it was going to happen. I'm not saying that he wanted it to happen, but your choices did put you there. And, God will use everything for his good. He will use the bad things for his good. He'll make it better. He'll make it okay, and he'll, make it good.
He will make it good. Two final questions. One, what is God doing in y'all's life right now? What is he teaching y'all? What are y'all seeing?
He's teaching me patience. So, yeah, that's something that's been strong with me. Mm-hmm. So, he's teaching me patience and to wait for my position. And like at Motion, he preached about pick up the broom, and it doesn't have to be a visual serving that you do, And so that was really good to hear, because I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep sweeping, Mm-hmm. If that's what I got to do, I'll do that.
That was a good one.
It was.
Oh, which one was that? Who was that?
That was... No, wait, I don't know.
Wait, take it back.
Oh, I don't remember. But he said, if you want to get into ministry, this is what you do. And he grabbed a broom and he started sweeping the stage. And I was like, that is so true,
If you can't start there, you don't deserve a higher position.
Exactly. You never ask for the platform. You serve diligently under the radar. And then if you get an opportunity and
God
you feel
will
called,
put you where he wants you.
Yeah, take it, right? What about you?
She goes,
Let's see. God in my life right now, we're really building our relationship up. Not that it's not good, but you can always go deeper. Yes. I don't care who you are. You can always go deeper. And I think he's really training me to listen in a split second of obedience for when you're sitting in the middle of whatever. And he's like, do this. Instead of me being like, is that you? Is that good? Because most of the time, let's be honest, it's him or it's not. But to do it in a split second, to not even ask, to be like, not even have time to say okay, but just do it. To, try to be his vessel as best as I can. And so yeah, we're just having those day-to-day conversations so that to hear his voice better, just building on our relationship. And yeah.
I feel that. Down in our sanctuary, or as everyone here likes to call it, our auditorium, there we have our back wall is chalk paint. So it's a it's our prayer wall. My gosh.
The tongue twisters are hard today.
Yes. On that wall, I have written, and it's kind of crooked because I'm terrible at writing straight unless there's a line. Obedience on the spot, or obedience in the moment. I hate this. It's something since Pastor Braxton's been here, or a little bit after, so maybe 8 months I've been trying to work on that too, and it's proven to be a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, because I thought the more I prayed and the more I kind of stepped into my purpose, the easier it would be to get in tune with the Spirit and like understand what He wants for me quicker. That's not how it is for me. Now, for some people, yeah, that's how it works. But it's different for everybody because everybody's got different distractions and different ways of communicating, right? And different ways of learning. So for me, I haven't quite figured it out yet. I have been able to have some opportunities of doing that, but they're really small ones. And I don't know if that's just because that's all He's been asking me to do in the moment, or if it's because I'm missing the bigger ones, or maybe I hear it and I'm too afraid. I'm not sure. But that's what I've been working on too.
Here's what I think, and that is, if you're faithful in the little things, the little things matter more than you think. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, the stupid things that's like, hey, grab that charger on your way out. Mm-hmm. And it's like, psh, God wouldn't ask me to do that. And then later your phone dies and you really need it because you're out of gas or something. You have Apple Cash.
Oh, this is personal.
Little things like that. Things that's like, oh, that doesn't matter. Or like, scoot over one chair. Mm-hmm. He's doing that to train you to hear His voice.
Yeah.
And until you do the little things, He's not going to give you something big because you aren't ready for it. He knows what you can handle and He knows what you're ready for. And the little things is what He's equipping you to be ready for what is to come.
Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic point. And it just clicked for me, and it kind of made me realize, when I say this, I promise I don't mean to equate us to dogs, but it's like training a dog. Hold on, I'm not trying to say that, but when you start training a dog, you start with simple things like sit down, whatever, like eat this treat, and then the better they get at doing that quicker, it means you can move on to more advanced things like doing flips or whatever, just because they know what you're trying to do for them. They know, the tone of voice that you're using, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, whether you want them to sit down or attack somebody. And that's the same thing.
Yeah, and that's building trust. The dog realizes when you teach them to sit and stuff that they listen, and that's trust. Because you have to build your trust too. You don't just, you can say, oh, I trust you, Lord, but until you have something to actually trust Him with, you don't know if you're going to trust Him. Things will come up.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh gosh, what do I do? And He's sitting here saying, trust me. Because I can't touch it until you give it to me. But you have to release it. Mm-hmm. You have to give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying to, I've been practicing listening. Mm-hmm. So when I pray or when I read the Bible, I don't put on worship music anymore.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I used to do it all the time. I could not sit in silence. I would have an anxiety attack. It was terrible. And I'd be thinking about what I needed to be doing, and what I needed to be doing was sitting there listening. So I've been practicing that a lot because I feel like God's voice is still and small, right? It's like a whisper. So if you got loud music on, I don't care if it's good music, okay? Worship music is incredible, and it's good to worship, but there's a time for worship and there's a time for listening. So when you're reading His Word, which is when you're going to hear Him most because that is His Word, do it in silence. And the same thing goes for when you're praying or just sitting there. Because when you're having quiet time with God, literal quiet time, it doesn't always look like you're reading the whole time or like you're praying the whole time. You could just be sitting there with a notebook open, pen in hand, waiting to hear something. And that's it.
I will also say many people don't realize, or they don't want to know it or whatever. But people say, "Oh, I don't have time to sit in the quiet. I don't have time to, read the Bible and all that." And that doesn't mean that you don't have time to talk to him, because he's in your head, he's in your heart, he's in the midst of you. I mean, he's standing in front of you, whether you feel it, see it, or whatever. But just talk to him in your head. He hears your thoughts. You can talk to him and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the daily.
And you're,
what you're doing.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's there and he's listening. All he wants to do is have a normal conversation with you. And people say, well, I don't know how to talk to God. And it's the same as you would talk to anyone. Just literally talk to him, or just thank it.
Think of Job. He complained. Okay, he lost everything, and he let God know exactly how he felt about that. And that's something that we need to adopt, that kind of relationship, adopt that tone, I guess, that attitude, because God's not just here for the happy-go-lucky. He's here for our problems too. Okay, mainly, I feel like that's obviously when we need him most. We don't just need to go to him when we're on top of the mountain, but when we're climbing the backwards trench trying to get to the top of the mountain. That's where we need to go to him. Not just when we're like, heck yeah, things are great, I've got a lot of money, I've got a nice vehicle, I'm getting where I want to go, I'm making a lot of money, and I've got a job I love, and all my friends love me, blah, 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 blah. That's not, I mean, yeah, he loves hearing that. Great. But when you're angry at somebody because they're not driving correctly, or when someone does you wrong, or someone lies to you, or you make a dumb decision and get yourself in a bad situation, that he wants to hear about that too.
I recommend this. Next time you're fixing to have or are having an anxiety attack, anytime you're depressed, or if you're mad at somebody, or any feeling that you're having, go somewhere by yourself and literally sit there and just tell him how you feel. Just talk to him. Sit there and be like, I don't know why I'm freaking out, but I am. This ticked me off, or that made me sad, that hurt me. I heard this in, I think it was The Shack, is what the movie's called. God said to him, how are you? How are you feeling? How's things been? And it's like, don't you know everything? And God said, yes, but I want to hear it from your lips. Mm-hmm. I want to hear you tell me about it.
That's great. I've actually never seen that movie.
It's a good movie. There was a lot of mixed thoughts on it, though. But
I'm a sucker for something that's going to pull my heartstrings and make me cry. I'm not going to lie.
That movie.
I have to find
It's all about forgiveness.
I will add to that, though, because I've had times where I've asked God because I know he wants me to talk to him, or I know I need it. And so I sit there and I'm like, but what do I say? Because he's calling upon me, and he's like, okay, well, what do I say? Because I'm not a big talker. Mm-hmm. I can talk. I can talk, but I'm not a big talker. I'm like, I'm not a talker, God. What do I say? He's like, tell me about your day. Just talk about your day. Mm-hmm. And that's always been a good breaker. And I'd tell him about my day, and it would go straight from there. And so that's what I recommend if you don't know what to say. Mm-hmm. Just tell him about your day.
Tell him what you did.
Whatever, however.
What you ate that morning.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, just yesterday I was like, I was praying for like the third time driving. I pray often when I'm driving because there's no distractions other than obviously driving. But you know what I mean. There's no music. There's nobody else around me. That explains a lot. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
This is gonna be a new thing.
Yeah. And I said, God, I know I've said this 6 times today, but I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do. What do you want me to do right now? What do you want me to do with my life? I feel like I'm hitting like a plateau, and I don't want to get complacent in where I'm at right now. I've come a long way, and I don't want to stop. I don't want to just be comfortable where I'm at. If I'm called to do something uncomfortable, I'll do it. I just don't want to get complacent and stop living in the purpose you have for me. And I was like, I know I've said that 8 times, but that's what he wants to hear. He wants to hear your thoughts. Mm-hmm. No matter how many times you've already said it. He's one person that will not complain about repeating yourself. You can talk to him about anything and everything all the time. So if you have a problem with people saying, hey, I'm tired of you talking to me about this one thing, he won't do that. I promise you that. He'll actually fix the situation. You won't have nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
Uh, last question. What are y'all's dreams and aspirations for life?
Who wants to go first?
Go.
Okay. I've always wanted to be an actor. I haven't told much of anybody about it because it's something some people don't understand. It's just I don't talk about things much like that. But
Yeah.
an actor is always something I've wanted to be.
That's really cool.
It's a really weird talent, or
She's very
it's
talented.
a weird passion to have.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's really weird to watch a movie and see someone cry and then lean forward and really be interested in it
Yeah,
and want to
yeah.
do it. It's a really weird thing.
But that's cool. That's
No,
really
yeah.
awesome. It'd be cool to see you working for Angel Studios one day. You know how
Yeah.
awesome that'd be? Like in a reboot of The Chosen or
Yeah,
something
it'd
like
be-
that.
oh my
That'd
gosh.
be sick.
No, but I've always, it was recently, as in Daystar, when I came to Daystar, it was like, I always knew I wanted to do it. It's something you can't hide, and it's like, well, God, I'm like, no, because they started preaching, there was a session about your gift or something like that. Your dreams. It was your
Yeah.
dreams. And I was like, well, what is my dream? And God's like, kept throwing acting into my face, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, no, that's just me. It's like, that's not really possible. And he's like,
Yeah.
and then there's the, I'm God, I can do anything. You know that.
Hey,
Why
yeah.
don't you think I could do it
There
for
you
you?
go.
And I'm like, whoo, with chill bumps, you know.
Yep.
And then he keep throwing it in my face, and I'm like, okay, it's
Yeah.
acting, right? And he's like, accept it. I'm like, okay, I'll accept it. And so now it's a trust, you know.
Have you gotten into theater yet?
No, I've not done anything like that. We're looking to go on Broadway. We want to go on Broadway.
That would be so cool. I
I
love
wanna go on
Broadway.
Yeah.
Musical theater is probably my favorite form of entertainment.
Yeah, yeah.
Hamilton, I know that's...
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, wait. I know that's like cliche, whatever. Hamilton is fantastic, okay? And
Oh my gosh, I love Hamilton.
We binged that so much.
it's so good. I don't care because everyone that has been into musical theater forever is like, "Oh, it's such a like mediocre whatever." And I'm like, "Shut up."
Please.
Well, you see, that's the thing about acting. There will be passions and stuff, and people's like, oh, Hollywood's bad. There ain't nothing good in Hollywood.
wow.
And so on and so forth. God didn't give you a passion for no reason. I do strongly believe that you might have a passion that everybody's like, oh, that's stupid. God wouldn't, that's not godly. That's not this. And I'm not saying, don't be a stripper or anything like that. But that's a no. But like, an instance of going to Hollywood. An instance of going to Hollywood and stuff, you can still serve God in the darkest place.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I will say this. So there will be people, Hollywood may be bad, there may be sinners, which there is anywhere, but in the church, some people will never go to church. You have to take church with you. And if that means I got to get in the movie to do that and be on set with those people every day, I'll do that, That's maybe their only option to see God, because we're the shares love. And so some people won't go to church or, won't see that in the darkest places, because you can guard your heart too. So, I mean, that's why you let him do it though, because I'm not in control of it. It may not even happen, but that's okay with me, because I'm just going to follow what he has for me. So
Good.
I'm happy with that. So
That's awesome. Have you ever seen the movie The Shift? It's a newer one by Angel Studios.
I don't think of it.
It's a very modern take on the story of Job. It is nothing like I thought it would be, because I didn't watch any trailers. I just seen some clips of like the beginning or whatever. It blew my mind. So there's the main actor, or one of the main actors that played the devil in that movie. He was a big A-list actor in Hollywood. I can't remember his name, but he was known for playing villains. But he refused to lay in bed with another woman. He refused to kiss another woman on camera.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want his kids to see that, and he didn't want to dishonor his wife. So they blacklisted him and stopped casting him. So then he went and started working for Angel Studios, and now he's doing a lot of movies with them.
Wow, that's
So,
really cool.
Yeah, so they got some A-list actors now, which I think the guy that plays Jesus, Jonathan something, I think he's good enough to be A-list. He's incredible. He played in Jesus Revolution.
Yes, yeah.
That
I know.
movie was so
Ooh,
good.
yeah.
All of those, I really need to get back on the Angel Studios and see what other movies that they've come out with. Because I've been like so focused on The Chosen, I haven't looked at anything else other than The Shift, of course.
So that's The Shift. I'll look into that.
Yeah, it's so good. I promise, when you think Story of Job, don't, because like you'll see why it's the story of Job, but it's completely unique, and I've never seen a movie have this concept either. So it's really cool to see a Christian ran studio come up with these incredible movie ideas and execute them perfectly. There's another main actor that played in The Hobbit as Sam. And I didn't know, but he is a huge Christian actor.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's played in
Oh yeah,
like-
yeah. I got it now.
yeah,
I
like
know
a
who
lot
you're
of
talking
movies like The Courageous and stuff like that. Those types of
Yes,
movies.
I like him.
Those types of movies are really good. They're a little cheesy,
They can't.
but they're incredible. Okay, they're awesome movies, and they're hilarious in the best ways. So actor, that's interesting. Never would have guessed.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but what's yours?
That's messed up.
My dreams, this is how I best explain it, is it's an open book. And that doesn't mean that I'm confused or like, I don't know where to go with it. But it's like, whatever God sends my way, whatever he's like, hey, what about this? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, man, if that's what you got.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I was going down a dream that I've always wanted to do is obviously become a wife someday and have kids, because raising children into God and the ministry is one of the, you know, most specialist, amazing gifts that you could have.
You're making me look bad. No. Oh, I want to get to Hollywood.
Going to Hollywood, baby!
Raise children.
I want to be a millionaire. I want to raise children.
That's not what I said.
Just kidding.
But, yeah, so, you know, something like that. But, it's really whatever he has for me. I try to keep an open mind for whatever, because I strongly believe in different stages of life. Like, for instance, if she ever became a Broadway actor or an actor, period, that could be for a certain stage of life, and it would stop, and her next calling would come on. And there's different callings in your life with different positions you're supposed to be. Like, you know, that's just the best way I can explain it, is you'll be doing something in a season, and it could change, or I believe that it will change.
Every day is a part of your ministry, though. Every day, because, like, they say, like, you got to wait for your gift to be used and all. Every day's that day. You take every day, like, it's your ministry.
All right. So you wouldn't guess it happened again. I swear it happens every other episode. Sometimes I'll get through a whole episode and it'll be great. There'll be no problems. It'll. But then this happens. When I was filming with Benji, it overheated twice, and we were in Pastor Braxton's office, and we talked about a bunch of random stuff.
I'm sure. Oh, yeah.
And then with Jacob Graves, it overheated twice too. So it didn't overheat with, I don't think, Jaron. But anyways, so we were gonna end it pretty soon before it overheated. But then in the little break, they started talking about another story that I loved. So I asked them to talk about it on this one because I don't care how long this goes. If you're a real fan, you'll listen to all of it.
Or you can skip through.
Or you can wait till later and watch this. Yeah.
Yeah, and you better be watching all the ads that definitely don't exist because I got 21 subscribers. All that's a joke. Anyway, so we're gonna we talk about their dreams and aspirations. You were saying things and it cut off in the middle of
where we were.
your. Do you remember at all what you were saying?
It's fine. No, I think we're good.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're like, we have another testimony, and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what? And they were like, our house burned. I was like, we got to talk about
Wait a
it.
minute.
Hold on.
Yeah. So it burnt probably 2 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
It will almost be 2 years ago.
November
This is a lot to unpack. Okay, I'll tell my part of it. Finding out, it was, of course, hard. I was with my grandma. I ended up comforting my grandma before myself.
Nice.
But
I've
Yeah.
never seen my granny cry till that day.
it was pure
sad.
sorrow. Like, she was so sorry for us. I'm like, it's okay, it's okay. But okay, so I don't want to like skip through, but I will say this. Okay, this actually did happen. I was at her house. I had to wait for Hannah to get back home because she was somewhere. She'll tell you about that. But in that moment, I've always heard that you have to trust God in the big, and you don't know like how much you'll trust him until something bad happens. Because when it's easy going, it's easy to trust. And so this was the one time I actually like had to put my trust in God and see how much I believed in his plan working out. But in that moment, when I gave up the fact that this probably was the worst day of my life, but I was like, okay, God. And he told me, he came to me because I was waiting on him, sitting there waiting. And he was like, I'll use this for good. Don't you know I'll use this for good? And I'm like, okay, I'll believe it. And this probably sounds so cruel. Okay, the only worry I had was for my family's recovery. But other than that, I was so excited. Like, I felt excitement because I knew something
As our
big
house was on fire.
was going to happen for this. So on probably the worst day of my life, it was, I knew it was going to be the best outcome because he doesn't make bad things happen, but he will use it for good. And I've seen that. Like, that's why I'm here today. And yeah, I was just really excited. And I seen my dad, and he was the same way, but we were like trying to not be excited because our family was like not okay.
Yeah.
That was my only concern because I didn't have much of the animals and all that perished in it. And so it was really a hard time for all of us. And of course, I was still not okay at that time. I was okay, but I felt excitement that he was going to have something come out of this. And I knew he had his hand on it. And the main thing was, where do we sleep, though? You have all that. The only clothes you have is on your back. It kind of builds as you go along, and then you have to accept it.
Yeah.
Luckily, we own a church. It was inherited. Like, there was a lot of elderlies at the church, and it was passed to my dad / our family. So we slept there for a year in the basement. And
A year.
keep going?
Oh, yeah.
Should I just keep going with it, or do you want to tell your part?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, tell your part on how you got the news and how you felt in that time.
But yeah, a year.
I want to dig into how we recovered from it.
Yeah.
So just tell that part.
So I take care of an elderly woman on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I don't remember what day it was, but I went to a funeral with her because she can't drive, so I took her to the funeral. I didn't know who passed away. And I'm walking around getting introduced to everybody and ignoring my dinghy phone in my back pocket, and finally pull it out. And Savannah texts me, "Hey, when you get back, come straight this way. Something happened. Something bad." All in caps.
Something bad.
And I'm thinking, my little brother lost an arm. My dad was in a car. My dad was in a car accident. Someone's dead, or someone's really hurt, or something like that.
In my defense, I knew she had to be prepared for it, and after sending that, I actually deleted that same text because I was like, "Dang, Savannah, you're too blunt. You should have held back a little bit there. She's gonna be like hurrying now." But I'm glad I could prepare her for it or whatever. I was just trying to prepare you.
So I'm driving this elderly woman home, and I'm shaking.
I'm so bad.
Who's dead? Who's hurt? And we were remodeling, so I thought my mom might have cut off a finger or something, because when I left, she was redoing the floor in our kitchen, and so she was cutting things, and she was cutting the counter and stuff. So I was like, oh, she cut herself, or Josh lost an arm. I don't know why Josh comes to my head, but he's always hurt.
That was
Just
because he
happens.
recently got cut by a broom.
Oh, that's a stupid story we're not getting
By
into.
a broom?
Okay. I'll rush through this.
Stories, I realized. I think
My two brothers, my older and my little brother, they were messing around with a broom. They were hitting each other with it, and then my older brother threw this broom at him.
This
and
is not part of the testimony.
this is no, it's not. This is a $1 broom, and the little handle came off, and it's really sharp if that little handle comes off, so it hit him straight down on his knee and cut off a chunk on his knee. Anyway, so
All right.
I get there, and she's like, the elderly woman I was with, she's like, "You want a cup of coffee?" And I was like, No, ma'am. I said, something's going on, and I'm just gonna go to Granny's. I was supposed to stay for another hour. I
I
left.
had to wait an hour.
My granny lives right beside this elderly woman that I take care of. Shout out to you, Mary, which I know you'll never watch this.
So what happens when you laugh and drink?
Anywho, so I walk over there. I am in heels, a fancy, uncomfortable shirt, and skinny jeans. And that is all I had. And so I walk over there and I'm like, what happened? You know, who died? Savannah met me at the door. You know, she was you could tell she's been crying. And she said, the house is on fire. And, you know, instantly I was like, did the animals get out? My family's fine. I mean, she would have said that to begin with. But I was like, are the animals okay? And she just did a little frown face she does and shook her head no. And my animals mean a lot to me. They're family to me. And we had somewhere around 25 animals. And it went to 4 in 2 seconds. Our horses are the only ones that made it out. And her cat that was locked up inside the house somehow got out, and she has her cat.
It has a Cherokee name. I blame it full on that. It's Augusta.
One more time.
Augusta.
Augusta.
It means rain.
Because she found her on a rainy day.
Our great-great-great-grandfather's Cherokee.
Yeah. Full blood.
You know, someone was talking to me about how they really thought that y'all had some Indian in y'all because of just y'all's personality and stuff.
I
And
get that.
Was it
I
Stephanie?
always look like I'm on a mission. I get that a lot. I'm like, I'm okay.
I'm pretty sure it was John Davis. Y'all know who that is? He owns
I don't.
Anytime Fitness. He knows y'all's mom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He did costumes, and we got to
meet
meet
him
Yes.
through at the movies, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
When I ran into him Sunday, and he had glasses on, and I barely recognized him.
Nice.
Nice guy. Nice
He
guy.
doesn't. Well, he had glasses on.
Yeah.
Never seen him with glasses.
Me neither.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So, I collapsed at the doorway because, you know, they mean a lot to me. I knew the family was okay. Barely. Can I tell that story? How they got out?
Of course, yeah.
So my dad was at work. Me and her were where we said. And so my mom and my 2 brothers were at the house, and they were just, you know, it was one of those chill days where you don't go anywhere. And so my older brother, Hunter, was like, why don't we go to Dollar General or something, you know, just go somewhere, I'm bored. And my little brother was asleep. And so she was like, okay, yeah, well, I guess we can go after he taught her into it. And they're like, well, let's leave Josh, you know, he don't have to go. That's the little brother. And so they were fixing to walk out the door, and she's like, let's wake up Josh and ask him. So she woke him up, and he's like, no, I don't want to go. And they made him go. And that is the weirdest thing, is what she says, the urgency they had to just go to Dollar General for no reason. And my little brother would not be here today if that did not happen. The house was completely gone in a matter of minutes. I think it was 30 minutes, which people say house fires and they have a little fire, which is traumatic too, but this was 100% lost. There was nothing salvaged from it. The metal roof was all that was left.
Can you tell them how it happened, possibly?
And we believe, because we were remodeling and stuff, and there was a bad plug behind the fridge, and my mom pushed it back, that we believe the fridge blew up. But, yeah.
So that's why it went so quick. That's why it was quick fire, we believe.
So how recently did y'all get back into a house?
Yeah.
Okay. We moved in. I think we slept there on Christmas Eve.
We slept there.
'Cause we
got there a week before Christmas.
Okay.
This Christmas, I
This
think.
past Christmas.
Yes, this Christmas, 2023.
Can I tell about? Oh wait, were you done?
But we were like, oh, we're gonna move in before Thanksgiving. That didn't happen. There was a lot. It's still practically in remodel. There's a lot to be done. But I took a pause and I'm building a chicken coop. But anyway, but yeah, so we moved in right before Christmas, and that was very chaotic because when you move into a new house, it's not home, okay? And at this moment, the basement of the church was our home, which was awful. But it was very, out of your comfort zone.
Did you tell them about church?
Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, so we talked about it later, or earlier.
We were going out of the church, and there was only elderlies, and we kind of inherited the church, as my mom says. So my dad became the pastor of it. Right now it's at pause because it's his building, and we're waiting to see what he wants to do with it. So, yeah, not Dad's. It's God's building, and we're waiting to see what he wants to do with it. And they're all going to Daystar right now, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, we are, so. Can I tell them about it? So, now we do not have fire insurance. We're thankful for it, honestly, because, but we were at the church, and my dad is a carpenter, and he roofed, like, his whole family was the Woods roofers.
Oh, nice.
So, they roofed.
Yeah.
But we built our house in 1 year.
By our hands.
With only 6 people, which is our household.
Impressive.
And, no, it's
Talk about a miracle.
That's impressive.
It's not impressive.
Actually.
I'm sorry. Yes, it's a miracle. It's not impressive. It's God,
Yeah.
It's impressive of God, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive. I just had to say it was not us because, I mean, you're talking about putting 2x10 rafters 20 feet in the air, and
It's not easy.
I mean, it was God. Because then you think back and you're like, how did we do this? You're living in the house, and it's like, how did we do this? Oh, we did. We did.
And there was no major injuries. But,
Not at all, honestly.
talk about figuring out who your real friends are when you're in something that traumatic. Nobody wanted to help, and so we had a pretty good. We were still going to our church at that moment, and there was a few people going, and they all quit going when the house burnt. They all dropped off the face of the earth, and our neighbors, though, talk about God sent people. Just sent. Like, okay, our neighbor across the hill, we don't even know him. Never seen him before in my entire life, but they saw that our house burnt, and they came and they hunted us down on Facebook. They found out that we were living at the church, and they just gave us $1,000.
We had thousands handed out from everyone.
Which, may I mention this, we had a Christmas at the church because it burnt in November, and, Christmas isn't that far.
It was in October.
Yes.
October 11th.
Was it October?
October
Oh,
11th.
it's October apparently. But anyway, Mom was starting to wonder, how am I going to do this? Because she's trying to make us happy as she's grieving. And she's like, this is going to be the saddest Christmas of a lifetime because we put all the money into the supplies and stuff because we had nothing to build, so we had to buy all that over again. Lumber's expensive and tools are expensive. And so she's wondering how she's going to get through to Christmas, and these people just come. She's like, God, I know there's money coming from somewhere, but I don't know where. And these people come knocking on our door that morning and just hand you $1,000 and say, God bless you. Can I pray for you? And it's like, you sure? I mean, just in shock. But
Yeah.
all of our neighbors really came together and just handed out whatever they could, and our community was amazing, and there's such big connections because of that.
So thank
And it's really great. Yeah, thanks everybody. But yeah,
That's incredible.
Yeah, talk about a miracle, for real. And I will say, we didn't just build the house and it was like, okay, we got a house, but my bond with my family through that, it was so much stronger. And I've learned things that I'll put into my house when I get one. Like, I know how to do all that now, so.
Yeah.
The worst thing that could ever happen to me is the most thing I'm grateful for now, because I'm so grateful for that experience and just the bond we've got with our family and everything through it.
talk about using bad things for good, as we were talking about earlier. Is God will use the worst thing that's ever happened in your life for His good, whether that's a testimony or He just turns it around.
It's hard too.
It's hard, and you might have to put a lot of sweat, tears into it. It's the road of life is not easy, but you can't get through it without God.
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you already talk about the recovery process that you were so excited about?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. The building the house and all this stuff.
So
The
y'all lived in the church the whole time?
Yes.
So do you want to? We had to clean up the garbage that was left. It was a rock house, so
Yeah. I have something to add to that. So the church basement was not a house, and this couple really needed somewhere to live. So we remodeled the church basement into an apartment to help out, and it was going to be a recovery house so that people could live there without pay, so that they can get a job and get on their feet and eventually move out to get their own place. That's what the whole purpose of the basement was. Little did we know that the place that we remodeled and put beds in was the place that we'd be sleeping months later.
For a year.
So we practically fixed it up for ourselves.
God.
Oh, yes, God.
Because we didn't like the idea of it. Because the person that did it, like somebody that wanted to do it, had such like urgency, because it was actually started with him wanting to make the basement something, and we're like, okay, and we let him, but he actually was called from God to do it. He started it and we ended it. But yeah, but we stayed in a year in the basement, which we were also in the fellowship hall because we wasn't having church at the time, because nobody went to church anymore.
Everybody
The
dropped
same
out.
people that left. They couldn't carry the burden of it.
What?
They didn't like to see it. I don't know what it was exactly, but...
I have no hard feelings to any of them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So everyone that went to church with y'all, or at that church,
which wasn't many, but
Right.
yeah,
that's terrible.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wow. God, I mean, Lord forbid that ever happens again, but if it did, I feel like someone here would probably just give y'all a house. You know? Like,
I know.
people be giving things away here. It's crazy. Now, I'm not trying to compare. Hold on. Wait, I'm not trying to compare
I know what you're saying.
people here and people there.
That's
but,
why I'm so
like,
grateful to be here now. Yeah.
So, wow. A year
That's a lot.
in the basement of a church.
We worked every day
Every
day on the house. That's how we got it done in the... A year is very quick for what we built, I will say that. It was God. I look back, and I don't even know how we did it, so...
Yeah, we used
Full glory.
contractors to build the house that we're in. And
Yeah.
we helped every once in a while.
Most people do.
But it took us a lot longer than a year. I swear it took probably 2 or 3 years for us to get everything together, just because of how expensive everything was.
Yeah.
But
And that shows you how much God was in it.
yeah, that's incredible. My parents didn't rely on God at all, which is why it took them so long to get it. I mean, I'm not trying to call y'all out. But,
Yeah, no.
No, just...
they don't watch anything.
But I will say, contractors do take their time. They get paid by the hour most of the time, okay?
Facts.
And this is a funny thing.
funny now.
Let's see. I think 5 houses on our street have burnt since our house.
Whoa.
It started...
And we have built community with every one of them.
Is this in West Point?
Vermont.
Vinemont.
Someone that lives right beside the church that did not step foot on that property, had nothing to do with it, wasn't going to church, none of that stuff. You crazy is kind of how it was. And his house burnt, and he had nowhere to go. And we said, go to the fellowship hall. It's fixed up because we moved out not too long ago. And his girls are staying in the same place we were right now.
Wow.
And I have this, it's a fire resort now, fire recovery.
I like it.
But he was dating a girl, and they weren't married, but they were living together. And I think like a week or so after they were staying at the church, he got married, and it's put an implant on his life. I mean, just being on God's property is going to change you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where that goes.
That's gonna be really cool. Especially because I'm sure that y'all worship and prayed in that for the year that y'all were there.
Absolutely. The prayer, oh
Yeah.
gosh, to get through, yeah.
Yeah, there's another this is older. It's a movie called War Room. Incredible movie, and it talks about this house that this lady had a prayer closet, and it was just a prayer closet. So she had a little chair in there, and some pieces of paper that she would tape to the wall. She would write her prayers and everything down, and tape them to the wall, and she would just stay in there praying. And they were really trying to sell the house, but they were having a lot of issues. And then this Christian family came in to look at and these two people were talking, and there's this guy in the background stepping into the closet and back out of the closet. And into the closet, back out of the closet. He's just looking around. And they turn around, they go, "Is everything okay?" And the guy's like, somebody's been praying in this moment.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay. So that's kind of what I think about when I think about them staying in that area. They're like, someone's been fighting wars in here.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
there's no doubt that he feels the presence. So I'm pretty excited to hopefully hear a bigger testimony next time.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
The next time I have y'all on, so on Monday, today is Friday. Y'all won't see this for another week or two because I like to pre-record because I don't like being stressed about these episodes like I used to. I'm trying to get ahead of that. But on Monday, I'm going to tour a new facility that they're opening up in Coleman. It's called Renvisions, and they have studios there that you can rent for podcasts.
Oh.
And they said if I just did one session every month, it'd be like $300 or $350. But they film everything. They have professional cameras and mics, and they edit it, and they give you 8 short form videos for TikToks and Reels from the podcast episode.
Wow, I've never heard of something like that.
Yeah, me neither. And they said if you want to do like 2 a month, would give you a deal. I was like, well, I do one every week. So is there anything you could do? And they were like, yeah. If you did 4 episodes a month, we could do $800 a month, which is only $200 an episode, which is kind of steep just because I don't make money from this. But overall, that's a great deal because $200 to film. They have several different cameras, so they'll have different angles, and the professional cameras way better than this one. And they've got the actual podcast mics that are like boom mics instead of these on my head and on the spatula. And they have the couch, and I can bring a backdrop. Like this is just a random room in the church. I don't know if y'all know this. This is just a random prayer room or small group room in Daystar Church. I chose this one because it has the cross and
it looks cool.
It does look cool. I stole those chairs from a different room because all these other chairs in here are terrible. Okay, this one's the best one, other than those two. But the rest of them are awful to sit in. So I took those from a different one. And we're not about to sit on this pew for an hour and a half. That's not happening.
No.
So anyway, so having that studio is going to be cool. I'm going to go tour them and try to look at my finances to see if maybe I can do it at least like maybe every other month or something like that. Because that would be really cool. Have professional everything.
If God's will.
Yeah. And then I can have... Instead of just being like, hey, share on Facebook or share on Instagram, whatever, I can actually have short form like TikToks and stuff to promote. I've tried to do it in the past, but I'm really bad at finding like spots for that, you know.
It's
so
not as easy as it seems either.
Yeah, I do it while gaming because like when you're gaming, like obviously you do something cool, you're like, okay, this is how I've been streaming for an hour and a half. I did it an hour and a half into the stream. So when it posts, I can just go back on there, clip that little spot at the timestamp that I remember and be like, okay, that was cool. But when I'm talking to people, it's like, well, what part of the conversation do I get? And I don't know how long in the video it's been, right? So that just, I don't have a ton of time to sit here and watch everything through 100%. Again, because I don't make any money from this. Maybe one day, hey, these views are going up. Andrew Creel and Jacob Graves
I'm here for you.
Brought it. I'm telling you, Andrews... The episode right before Andrews has like 30 views, and that's one of my highest. And then his is 170-something.
I seen that. Then, I'm like, okay, I see you. Yeah.
So guests help a lot. So I think it's just going to get better and better.
Yeah.
I feel like this is what God wants me to do because I've loved content creation for a while. And there's a lot of people that make a lot of terrible content that a lot of people like to watch. So I'm trying to counteract that with good content.
So this is a good pod you can just listen to.
Yes.
Stay a while.
Subscribe.
Click that notification button. Give us a like.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. I love it because this is on YouTube and Spotify. So if you are driving or working out or whatever, you can listen to it without a video on Spotify. But if you want to watch the video, it is on YouTube. I used to do a video on both, but I like the idea of having audio exclusive and video exclusive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean exactly what they said. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Make sure all notifications turn on because if you don't, you're a loser. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
God bless you, though.
Just kidding. God bless you. And hey, in the comments, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. what you want to hear in the future. Again,
Or maybe some questions you have.
yes, definitely some questions. And you can do that on Spotify too. There's like a Q&A at the end of the episode, or if you just click on it and scroll down, something like that. Also, all of my socials and all of my other content creation places are in the description on both Spotify and YouTube. You can contact me literally anywhere at any time. I don't have a lot of followers or anything like that, so my DMs are empty.
Not
so, yeah, not yet. So if you DM me or like put a comment somewhere, there's a 100% chance I'm gonna see it. So questions, literally whatever you want. Again, this is a few weeks in the future, so if you don't see it, your question answered in the next podcast episode, it's probably because that was recorded before you commented. So don't be mad at me. I will see it and I will answer. I promise. And that I can keep. I didn't remember that question, so I'm glad I took that promise back from earlier. I don't know if you remember from an hour ago.
Oh, yeah. If you're still with us.
If you're still with us, you know what I mean? If you're still with us from the very beginning, I need you to put
Prayer hands.
Prayer hands in the comments. Yes, let me know that you watched all the way through. Savannah and Hannah Woods, y'all, incredible. Great stories, hilarious. I think this is gonna be a top contender as far as views and likes and whatever.
Help us out, guys.
Help us out. Yeah. They're in competition now. They gotta beat Andrew Creel. Got to beat Andrew Creel. He might be watching this right now. Actually, he's being, hey, what's up, brother? Yeah, we're definitely gonna have y'all on again, and maybe in the studio, which would be
that'd be
really
awesome.
cool. But yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It's my honor.
It's my honor. Yeah. Okay.
Shout out to Mom and Dad.
Yeah. Hopefully they're listening. That was cool. Man, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bye. Peace.